Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
A few weeks ago, I reviewed the Kodak Zi6 portable video camera. It records HD video either at 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second. It also records VGA video, 640 by 480. Yeah, it is HD. It's not amazing quality, but for a camera that you can slip into your pocket, it does a pretty decent job. Now, you might remember I did a review of the Flip Ultra when I picked that up, and I just got this, the Flip Mino HD, which is an upgrade, at least in terms of capacity, as well as video size compared to the Flip Ultra. The Mino HD shoots, much like the Kodak Zi6, HD. And I decided to, as I was practicing for this particular video, decided to hit the record button simultaneously as I set these two cameras off to the side, the Kodak Zi6 and the Flip Mino HD. I believe it would be a Mino because it's kind of like a Mino. It's kind of small, and it is smaller. I mean, if you're asking about size, it is substantially smaller and substantially lighter. The Flip Mino is compared to the Kodak Zi6. In comparison to on top, and you're not going to be able to see the differences as clearly as I can, so I'll do my best to describe it. The one on top, the video on top here, is the one that I shot with the Kodak Zi6. The one on the bottom is the one that I shot with the Flip Mino HD. And roughly at the same angle, I mean, one is a little off. I am seeing much better contrast in the Kodak Zi6. And it could be because of the lighting or lack thereof in the room. The black of the chair is much more black versus in the Kodak Zi6 versus the Flip Mino HD, where it's just a bit washed out. And unfortunately, on neither camera, well, at least that I can tell, I can't set the white balance with any degree of ease. It's kind of automatic, and that's a bit disappointing. So let me rewind each video and play each one again. See if I can get them in sync. Probably can't. Oh, not too bad. I appear, even though my black shirt and the black chair is much more black with the Kodak Zi6 in this lighting, I'm actually more yellow with the Kodak Zi6 compared to a closer to a skin tone in the Flip Mino HD. There is, I mean, I'd say a fair amount of noise in either one. The Flip, not just the Mino HD, but also the Flip Ultra that I had, tend to wash out the colors, so I'd always have to do some kind of post-processing, bumping up the contrast, messing with the brightness just a little bit to try to increase the colors or try to make the blacks appear more black. Another thing that annoyed me about the Kodak Zi6 is that it drops frames. Even if I record at like 60 frames a second, it doesn't matter. It is always, seemingly, at least in low light conditions, dropping frames, like to an annoying degree. And that's the Kodak Zi6. Like, they need to fix that in the firmware, like ASAP. That is the one huge, I guess, negative mark that I have with the, I guess, the Kodak Zi6. Sorry, I have to like think about which product I'm talking about when I'm referring to these different points. The image is sharper with the Kodak Zi6, even at that distance. I can't perceive any text that's necessarily, on my computer screen in the background, but it is sharper. The blacks are more rich, but it drops frames, so it's difficult to recommend it over something like the Flip Mino HD, which is smaller, as I noted. There is no removable storage in the Mino HD. It's a 4 gig device. It has an internal battery that is just charged by USB, and true to Flip, you just toggle a switch or press the switch down, and out pops the USB that you can then connect to any computer. The software has been upgraded as well, and that's a big plus for the Mino or the Flip series. The software is much better. I can't say it's amazing, but it's good enough to help people who don't really know much about video kind of get things going, especially getting the video to YouTube. The videos that you do record on the Mino HD are recorded in MP4 format, which is perfect for video casting or iTunes, or whether you're going to send it to YouTube in high quality. The Mino HD just makes it super simple to do that either way. Another thing I noted, and I noted this, or I noticed it in particular when I had the Kodak Zi6, They have the the attachment for a wrist strap. If you've ever used that, and hopefully you do. Hopefully you've got a wrist strap attached to your camera because you never know when you're going to need it. Kodak decided to put it on the bottom, which is okay so long as you're not trying to stand the device up. And that's something that I considered too, because I can do that with the Mino HD, much like I could with the Flip. Because the Flip, I guess, engineers decided to put the wrist strap prong, whatever you would call it, on the side of the Flip device, making it much easier to sit on its side without having any kind of tripod. That is a big, big, big bonus, because you may be in a point where you want to take a video, you don't want to hold it in front of you because it's too shaky, but you can set it on something. You wouldn't be able to easily do that with the Kodak Zi6, at least not without some kind of mini tripod, or if you have that with you. Another thing about the Flip Mino HD that I found a bit disconcerting, comparing, and I'll just hit play again, not like you're able to tell these things. If I compared the Mino HD to the Flip Ultra, I thought the Flip Ultra took sharper video. I thought it handled colors better. I thought it handled noise better than the newer version. Again, I'm talking about the Flip Ultra, the one that I had also reviewed before. I did that review when I was like visiting Washington, D.C. I was like dressed up. I think it was the only review I ever did in a tie. The Mino HD seems to have a lot more noise in lower light situations. And I think they made that decision, and it may be an okay decision if you're down sampling the video after it's been uploaded or what have you, or processed. But they did it to bring out parts of the video that otherwise would just be completely dark and you wouldn't be able to see. And I noticed that specifically when I pointed both the Mino HD as well as the Flip Ultra, Flip Mino HD and the Flip Ultra directly towards, where that camera's sitting. I've got a Darth Vader statuette, and with the Flip Ultra, I couldn't even see the Darth Vader at all. In the Mino HD, I could definitely see it, but the colors were a bit inaccurate on the Mino HD, at least specifically from that angle. Another thing I don't like about the Flip Mino HD is the fact that, dang, it attracts fingerprints like you would not believe. I love that the Flip Ultra is almost fingerprint proof. I love that. It's cleaner. You don't have to worry about smudging other than the lens. But the Mino HD is just like, it is just. I don't like glossy finish. I like matte finish, especially on devices that I intend on holding, because then I've got smudges all over the place at this point. And so either I'm constantly doing this and wiping them off and then it's just, I don't know. That's a personal choice, I realize. It does come with a cable so that you can plug it into at least a composite connection as well as audio video. This is the Flip Mino HD compared to the Kodak Zi6, which has not just that connection for AV but also HD connection component cables that you could then connect to some kind of television and then watch it in HD. It's a toss-up. It really is. I mean, the Kodak Zi6 has got the macro or landscape mode. It's got the ability for you to swap out the storage. It's got the ability to swap out batteries. It definitely has a much, much, much larger screen. Like the Mino HD is like postage stamp size, and the Kodak Zi6 is substantially larger. If I remember correctly, it's like 2.5 inches. Don't quote me on that. Whereas the Mino HD seems to be right about an inch, and I'm eyeballing it here at this distance. Controls are pretty simple. The Mino HD has a touch controls. Like there's no buttons like I had experienced with the Flip Video or the Ultra series. Everything is kind of, I guess, just touch sensitive, which is nice. It's cleaner. There's less that might break off in your pocket or get in the way or it's just a cleaner experience with the Flip Mino HD. I would not say that you should rush out and get it unless, of course, you've seen footage compared to what you currently have. If you have like a Flip Video already, like whether it's a Mino or a Flip Ultra. I've never used the Flip Mino. I used the Flip Ultra, and the videos that I've seen, I still think that they made some choices with the Flip Mino HD that doesn't make me as happy as I would have been they stuck with the same way they did it with the Flip Ultra, specifically in low light situations. Like the Flip Ultra handled low light so well, so well. Colors were washed out, but there was hardly any noise, and it just astounded me when I saw that. And I can't say the same holds true for the Flip Mino HD camera, at least again in my limited experience with it, specifically indoors. Of course, every video camera loves light. Another thing that I noticed as well, and again my limited experience, just sitting it here on the desk, the Kodak Zi6 recorded audio it was much louder. There'd be no need for boosting the audio in playback versus the Mino HD, which was a little subdued. And I will do my best to play back at first the Mino HD. I have no idea what they look like. I kind of sound like I'm in a tin can. A few weeks ago, I picked up a Kodak Zi6 and promptly recorded a demo and uploaded it to YouTube. Of course, I couldn't use the software that the Kodak Zi6 came with. For me, and for my money, I would rather have, I don't know, it's so hard to choose now. I'm seeing them side by side, and they both have ups and downs. Here's the Kodak Zi6 audio. Actually, let me unmute it. Kodak Zi6 and promptly recorded a demo and uploaded much more to rich. YouTube. Of course, I couldn't use the software that the Kodak Zi6 came with because I plugged it into my Mac. And then the other day, I learned that Flip, the people who make the Flip video camcorder. So yeah, each one has its ups and downs. I mean, if you're comparing not just the Flip Ultra or the Flip Mino to the Flip Mino HD, but specifically against the Kodak Zi6, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. I mean, you're going to have to like view videos that have been recorded and then uploaded to YouTube or Blip TV or your favorite podcast, and do. You're gonna have to decide for yourself what is more important for you. They're similar, but they're also dramatically different. The Mino HD versus the Kodak Zi6, and I should call it by its full product name, the Flip Mino HD. And again, I think it's the Mino because it's small, like a Mino. I'm gonna call it a Mino, until they tell me that that's not what you say. So yeah. I'm happy I have the Flip Mino HD. I'd like to give it some real-world tests. I'm happy with the frame rates. I'm not happy with the noise. I haven't actually passed it to up to YouTube, any samples like I'd done with the Kodak Zi6. But it's always good to have a backup, certainly. And I think both companies, they could stand a bit of improvement. Most of my qualms with the Kodak Zi6 could likely be fixed in firmware, as well as the Flip Mino HD. And I believe that if I was to record something, I believe, in my opinion, I could probably do a better job if I needed to post-process with the Flip Mino HD than I could with the Kodak Zi6, specifically because the Kodak Zi6 will sometimes, for some reason, drop frames in low-light situations, and that is annoying. I have no idea why it happens, and I've tried it, in a variety of places. It just drops frames at 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second. It just does not do a very good job compared to the Flip series that at least the Flip Ultra that I've used, and now the Flip Mino HD. I could go in and tweak the colors in post-processing and have a decent video with the Flip Mino HD, assuming that I'm not recording some kind of audio performance like a band or some kind of music. I think the Flip would do pretty well, especially in conversation. Sitting across from someone at a table, especially in noisy environments. The Flip definitely has done well, especially in the videos that I looked at, reviewed by different gadget sites, as well as just looking on YouTube and seeing what people had done. So it looks like chat was completely off the chain. I don't know what happened earlier, but oh well, what are you going to do? This is what happens when you have people watching a live video feed at, what time is it? Looks like it's approximately 9:16. I was reading my ticks clocks up there. Of course, I set the topic a little earlier, but I've been working with this particular setup for, I guess a little while now, according to that time. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. I'm sure you have more questions. And what I'm hoping to get from you is your perspective and your experience with either the Kodak Zi6 or any of the Flip cameras if you've used them, or specifically what you'd be looking for, what you believe is the better camera here, the Flip Mino HD or the Kodak Zi6. I don't see a clear winner. I just don't. That's it's an unfortunate fact. I can't tell you which one is better because they both have amazing positives and amazing negatives. You may have a different opinion, I'm sure. You have my email address, and in case you want to post your video review, you're more than welcome to at geeks.pirillo.com. You can even embed YouTube videos there if you want to. We've got close to 10,000 registered geeks at this point, and we're going to be giving away a computer at some point, hopefully before the end of the year. So stop by and certainly subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up to date with that particular development. And you're also welcome to stop by the live video feed experience that is done in conjunction with the chat room, which sometimes gets a little crazy. It happens. You throw a whole bunch of geeks into a chat room. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody gets excited. Ah! Ah! That's what they do. Ah! I swear. I swear. I thought I was the only one with ADHD. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. How many hundreds of people are in chat right now? And each one of them is having a conversation on their own. Like right now it's moderated, so it's not so bad. At least I'm focusing them for just, just a minute, but I guarantee as soon as I, just lift it off and let them go and be themselves, it's 227 conversations of one. And if you'd like to participate and watch this live video experience, which is being shot through a different kind of camera, you're more than welcome to. And I'm streaming live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in conjunction with this chat room. And we're typically talking tech at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.